Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Oregon on this September's episode. I am Mike Ducett, your host. Today on our show, we have two very important segments. First, we'll be meeting with the new Associate Principal at Oregon High School, Miss Chrissy Mitlyng. And in our second segment, we'll be meeting with Glenn Linzmeier from the Oregon Chamber of Commerce as we discuss the recent decision to close Summerfest. Welcome to the show, Chrissy. We're glad to have you here.
Thanks
glad
for
to be
having
able
me.
to introduce you to our audience here. So we're so excited to have you here at OHS, and we'd like to kind of get to know you better. So kind of begin, can you tell us kind of about your educational pathways and journeys and what has kind of led you to the Oregon community?
Yeah, so I started my career in Madison. I was in Madison for 20 years. Started at Sherman Middle School. Was a 6th and 7th grade teacher. I'd actually student taught there and was going to leave, and then had an opportunity to stay and really believed in the work that was happening, so I stayed. Was taught, then I rolled into an instructional coach, learning coordinator role there. I stayed at Sherman for 14 years before moving on to La Follette High School, which again was an opportunity to work with people and colleagues that I had collaborated with previously, and now they were at La Follette. And so went there to be an instructional coach, and that role then evolved into a pathway, informational technology and communications pathway coordinator, and a neighborhood coordinator. Mm-hmm. So similar roles that support as you go into leadership and associate principal roles of knowing pathways and knowing post-secondary options for kids, as well as like the support system. And then really felt like it was time for me to take on that associate principal role. I'd had my degree for a long, long time, but was ready to take it on. And so then I was offered a position in Sun Prairie at East and was there for 3 years. And then when this opportunity came up, Maggie had reached out, and I was like, well, I want to see what this is all about. It seemed like a good opportunity to come and see what was happening in Oregon.
That's such a really wide background of diverse experiences, really a lot of things that were great on-the-job training to help prepare you for this role here at Oregon High School, too. Yeah. And you said you were at first a 6th and 7th grade social studies teacher, is that correct? No.
I actually taught integrated curriculum.
So an integrated curriculum, okay.
Yeah, so it was democratic planning, so our students planned with us.
Oh, fun.
And we created units based on like their interests, and then actually back mapped the standards with students. Yeah. And they had themes. Awesome. And then so I primarily taught math, science, some social studies, and we always did reading groups.
Nice. Sounds like an interesting experience. It's always fun to see where people begin their career in education, and when someone like you with all this experience, like how you got to where you are today. So in your recent move from Sun Prairie to Oregon, what was really kind of some of that motivation behind wanting to come to Oregon?
Yeah, so I think throughout the entire process, I just felt this sense of belonging and just like a sense of calm and comfort. And it just felt like really natural to be here. And so that immediately was like, okay, this feels really good. I want to pursue this. And then it was also apparent, like the OHS staff are so collaborative with each other and so support each other, and it's always like in service to like students, families, communities, whatever it takes. The staff are just willing to do it. And then also just so even back to when I worked at Sherman, it was full inclusion. And so just like the focus here on inclusionary practices, and then also like through my instructional coach role, the focus on like PLCs and the instructional core is just something that that really excites me. And just to have a place that had all of those in one space was really intriguing to me. Right. Another piece that really drew me to Oregon was that how committed the staff are to Oregon, both in like their longevity and like the amount of time they've been here, and how many people live here and their own children go to school here was just really like, it showed the commitment to the school and to the families and to the community. Right,
that's great. So it sounds like a lot of the things that you value in education are already happening here at Oregon. Yes. So it really was a really nice transition, a good place to come. And you know, we've laid the groundwork for that here at OHS for many, many, many years. And so we're glad to have you at the team, and you're a welcome addition to this great culture that we've already established here. So it's great to have you here. As you think about Oregon and all the things that you just kind of said about the school, so what do you think then from that student perspective is really a benefit for our students? What do you value about this OHS community for our students themselves?
Yeah, so I really think all of the opportunities that students have to pursue interest areas of theirs, and both in academics, but also like extracurricular opportunities, and how many students are involved in extracurricular opportunities here. But then also, right, there's AP courses, there's a variety of different career pathways that students can take. There's internship opportunities, as well as like there's flexibility and a lot of support for our students who need something totally different. And I think that was another thing that I really value and see is that the staff are so committed to thinking outside the box and being creative about meeting students' needs and getting them on the right path to what they need to like achieve their post-secondary goals.
Right. So I would agree. It sounds like OHS really does kind of meet kids where they are, really supports them, and helps do whatever we can to really get them across the finish line. And so it's great to hear your thoughts on that as well. But as you know, as I've worked in education and here at Oregon for 21 years, like sometimes the associate principal role is not fun. Right? It is not fun because you do have a lot of unique challenges that, once you've stepped out of that classroom role and into that leadership position and into kind of the more disciplinary side of things with schools, that can be kind of a challenge. So as you look at some of those students that you're going to be seeing frequently, like what do you hope to accomplish with your work with those students?
Yeah, so really, I want students to know that I'm there for them, I care about them, and that I want to like support them in achieving their goals, right? And so I think one of those challenges, and continues to be a society challenge, is around mental health and mental health supports, right? And so sometimes that unmet need prevents students from reaching their goals and doing the things that they need to do in order to be successful, right? And so another thing about Oregon, right, is there's all the wraparound supports, and still, with all of the wraparound supports, that's still not enough for some kids, right? And so I see, like, I want students to know that I'm like another person there that's on their side and wants to work with them, and that it's not just about discipline, right? I come from a restorative background, and so like to me it's about like how do we fix it and how do we get you what you need and what are those unmet needs and how can we restore what happened so that we can get you back on track.
Correct. And so for our families that might not out there know that you really are, you do work collaboratively with all of the other two associate principals, but students with last names A through K.
A through F and AVID students.
A through F and AVID students. So why don't you kind of also tell about your role with AVID and how that's kind of become a big part of our Oregon culture as well?
Yeah, so AVID here, I'm still learning Oregon, but AVID here is about 100 students. There's a class at each grade level. And it's really designed, you said, to explain AVID, right?
Just kind of let our viewers know.
It's really, it stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, which I know you know, but, and is really meant as like an extra support for our students in the middle that need a little bit more to really push themselves to reach that post-secondary goal and get that support they need to explore colleges, careers, what's next after high school. So probably coming through, right, is like that's a lot of what is true to me and in my core is that it's not about just getting to graduation. It's really about what's next.
Right. And I've seen that program in action for several years now. I've seen kids that have now graduated and gone on. I know they make really good connections with their teachers and they feel they're so confident when they leave. So besides education, you obviously have a life outside of OHS. So what, when you're not in the halls of OHS, what do you like to do with your family in your free time?
Yeah, so I have two girls myself that are both in high school. So watching their activities is really important to me. And then we've also found spending time with them is a huge priority to me. So we also found some like TV shows that we like to watch together, just as some like downtime together. My husband and I like to go and explore new restaurants. And then like personally for myself, I love spending time outdoors. I like consistently work out for my own well-being. And I have found I do have some travel time to get here, so I've found a new love for podcasts and
for sure.
and listening to podcasts.
Great. And you said, I think in your welcome letter to the staff that you love a good challenge too. Like, what kind of challenges do you like to take on?
So currently, right now, one of them this month is to walk, run, or bike outside 30 minutes 4 times a week.
Oh, nice.
I work out in addition to that, but like that's like the challenge piece is like get outside, enjoy the fall weather. We're having extremely beautiful weather.
Right. Not so fallish today as we're filming, but yeah.
So yeah, it's usually, and then I usually also have the people, my other one this month is to also like read or listen to an audiobook, a chapter of an audiobook every week. And
what are you currently listening to?
That's a great question.
Can you remember the title? That's putting you on the spot here.
I know, I was like, another one the next level is one I'm doing, but then I'm trying to remember the name of the other one I'm listening to.
I'm a big audiobook fan myself. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just as like always having like a physical component and a mental component.
Yeah, for sure. I think those are, as stressful as a job it is to be in high school administration, I think you seem to be well suited and have a lot of tools to help create that work-life balance that really helps, keep your energy up and to really not get bogged down by some of that challenging work that we were talking about. But Chrissy, that's all the time we have with you on this first segment. And it's, like I said, we're welcoming you to the OHS family and the Oregon community. And so now, folks, when you are out in the community or at the football game, stop by, say hi to Chrissy, introduce yourself. And she is our new associate principal here at Oregon High School. When we come back after the break, we'll be sitting down with Glenn Linzmeier from the Oregon Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you in a little bit.
You're watching OCA Media. You're watching OCA Media. Excellent.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Are you that person? The one with the fever riding the bus? The achy waiter coughing on everyone? The mom who sent her sick kid back to school? The guy still at work spreading the flu around? The flu is serious and symptoms come on fast. Know the facts, and if you think you have the flu, do the right thing. Stay home, avoid contact with others, and call your doctor right away. Ask about prescription medicine that can help stop or shorten the flu. And remember to get vaccinated every year. You can do this.
Hello, give me Duffy.
Hey, Walter.
What?
Can I call the mayor a bird of prey?
Call him anything you like.
How about the time he had his house painted by the fire department?
Give him the word.
Uh-huh.
Hello, Duffy, get set. We got the biggest story in years.
If you're my father, if you love me, you'll shoot him.
Well, I'm your father, and I sure love you. So?
Hey, he dies.
If he dies, he'll be the first man ever killed with a blank cartridge.
Clever fellow. Almost missed me.
You're blocking my view.
Which view would you prefer?
The one you're blocking. It's my last chance. I'm flying back to Paris this afternoon. What's your name?
Peter Joshua.
Oh, mine's Regina Lampert.
Is there Mr. Lampert?
Yes.
Good for you.
No, it isn't. I'm getting a divorce.
Thanks for watching OCA.
Welcome back to our second segment on Let's Talk Oregon. And I misspoke in my original introduction. We actually have two guests with us today from the Oregon Chamber of Commerce. We have both Glenn Linzmeier and Ida Dempich. So welcome to the show, folks. I'm glad to see you here again today. You're both return visitors. We always love those that have braved the cameras once more. And, you know, we're here today to kind of talk a little bit about Summerfest and some decisions that have been made. But I know that was not an easy decision to have made, and one that weighs heavy, I'm sure, on the Chamber's hearts as well. So, Glenn, can you kind of tell us, you know, how this decision came to be? We've kind of decided that Summerfest in its current iteration was really no longer sustainable to maintain any longer. So, can you give us kind of a summary on how you guys came to this position?
Sure. I guess the first thing I will say is from the board and from the Chamber, from Oregon, all of us took this, you know, very seriously. I mean, we know this is a community event. It's been there for 20, 30 years, long time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you go back in history, last year and the year before, we've been doing surveys, polls, different things, trying to bring the community, get them involved, trying to bring different civic groups, different stuff to the event. So this has been kind of a trend, you know, probably since already COVID, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But even before that, we really start looking and diving into things. We see a trend that's been happening for a while. And it's just one of those things that at the end of the day, the dollars and cents just doesn't add up to make it a value event for the Oregon Chamber. Mm-hmm. A 3-day event, you know, there's a bunch of volunteers, businesses that pour their heart into it, and the amount of work, and at the end of the day, there's not a lot of reaping rewards. So as Ida can contest, and the rest of our board, and we really sat down and we looked at it, having Summerfest the way that a lot of us knew it, mm-hmm. With the parade and, you know, the softball games and a 3-day event and all that other mm-hmm. kind of stuff that goes with that, just wasn't doing it, and it was time to do something different.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. And, you know, as I've been online, I've seen a lot of discussion. Obviously, it's a hot button topic in the Oregon community right now. And so can we kind of clear up some of the miscommunication or misinformation that may be around there, correct? So that, first of all, surrounding on like how the Chamber of Commerce and the Village of Oregon are actually kind of like separate entities from each other, and that this decision really has nothing to do with whether or not the village had passed that referendum back in the spring. So,
correct.
Ida, you want to go ahead, or Glenn, you going to tackle this one?
Ida's going to take this.
Yeah, sure, great.
Yeah, we do reside in the same building. However,
Mm-hmm.
we are definitely two different entities.
Mm-hmm.
The village is more, you know, governmental municipality.
Mm-hmm.
The chamber is a 501c3 nonprofit organization,
Mm-hmm.
which is a membership organization.
Mm-hmm.
So we have members, and that's how we keep our nonprofit afloat, is
Mm-hmm.
by membership dues, and we try to do activities throughout the year so that we can connect the businesses and the community.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Two very different organizations, but we do work really well together. So we're very proud of our
Mm-hmm.
relationship with the village.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that do overlap, and I think maybe that's where the confusion comes.
Yeah, so I think, nothing that you do with the actual chamber actually has any impact upon the village budget for lawn mowing, or parks maintaining, or any services for that. And I think that's important for people to know. And it could be confusing since you do share the town hall, right? That might be an assumption, but that's, excuse me, certainly not the case whatsoever.
Exactly, and I think that's one of the biggest things, Mike, that you have to realize is that the village was very generous to the chamber when they moved out of the old village hall, that they had a build out, and the chamber's existence is in at that 101 Alpine address. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's some other opportunities that the chamber is currently looking at for maybe some staffing things in the future on how the chamber operates within the Village of Oregon. Mm-hmm. Maybe there might be some outreach programs and some different things that they can partner with. So I think that's one of the biggest things. But as far as the referendum, that has tied to Summerfest, that has absolutely no correlation at all.
And can you just, as a quick follow-up, just the Chamber of Commerce really is, like you said, a membership organization of the businesses, right? And so it's our local businesses that kind of operate and kind of join together with your guidance and umbrella to kind of form an organization, and you're really there to help stir business and promote businesses here in the chamber, which is very different function than our village government. So I think that's an important distinction to understand. So, you know, I've been around the Oregon community since 2005, and so I know it's been a long history of having these Summerfests, at least in the last 21 years that I've been around this community. Can you kind of describe the conditions that have changed since you really kind of had what people think of that classic Summerfest experience from years past?
You know, that's a good thing. You got me beat. So you've been here since 2006. I've been here since 2006, 15, I guess it was. Okay. So you look at you know the different things, and we really took a snapshot of that. And we page it way back to the events that bring people together at Summerfest. And I'll go back to the community bands and all of the marching bands that they had here in Oregon prior, and they had a 3-day event of marching bands that came from my understanding all over the country. And these bands came in, they did a competition, they wrapped it up on Sunday, and guess what happened on Sunday was the parade. So a lot of people came to this Oregon Summerfest parade to look at all these different marching bands and see these, you know, these people competing. So, you know, after that happened, probably we kind of seen the parade started to, you know, dwindle per se, and the things kind of going backwards. And then, you know, just in general, you know, you look at the things that we've done the last couple of years now with trying to do softball. Softball is kind of, you know, I don't want to say dying off, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be, where you had probably 3-4 league nights happening in Kaiser Park. Now we're probably having one night of softball there. So then you tied some of these other sports into these other sporting events that we looked at, trying to tie them in to make Summerfest and bring people together for hometown baseball or, you know, talent or any of this other kind of stuff. All of that stuff, people are busy. People just don't have a lot of time to volunteer, to come to their local community and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a whole bunch of things that all of a sudden starts basically spinning around the drain, and you just don't see a lot of, you know, locals being part of that and all that other kind of stuff, and it kind of dwindles from there.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also kind of say there's not a single thing, perhaps, that you can point to as a reason why it's become unsustainable. So it's not like you can blame this or blame that. And I think, as you've said, you know, as a parent myself of young kids in the community, parents today are extremely busy. We're super involved with our own kids' activities, and there's probably families out there financially that would love to volunteer, but they're working, and you know, it's just the dynamics of kind of
complex world.
The world's change, and they change and they evolve.
The one thing I was going to add to is how long Summerfest has been around. We have an article up at the Chamber office that talks about it, and I believe it was started in the 60s. So, I mean, it's been around for a very long time.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that is an unfortunate decision. I know it's not one that was taken lightly by the board at all. And in fact, a couple episodes ago, we did have your board president here, chamber board president, and talked about some of the other events that you do have and are still going to continue. Recently, I think you had a golf outing. Is that correct? Just recently?
Yes, we just had our golf outing on Monday, and it was well attended, and I think everybody in attendance had a great time. We had businesses and nonprofits available to promote their business or their nonprofit. We had raffle drawings and a meal that was shared with the participants. So it just brought a lot of business, some community from outside. Golf outings just kind of have a way of bringing in all kinds of people.
And that is also an annual thing, correct?
It is.
And that's always in September? Is that a specific weekend of September? Or does
this is
that change?
a first.
Oh, this was a first.
September is a first. Usually it's in May.
Okay.
So we just thought we'd try it and see, just because Summerfest planning does take a lot of time. And when it was in May, Summerfest felt like 2 weeks away from that.
Yeah,
and it really wasn't, but there's just a lot of planning that goes into it.
And I believe you also have a chamber dinner as well.
We do.
Winter season, is that open to the public or purchasing tickets?
It is.
And you want to explain it? That could be a way for people to get involved in some events to support the chamber?
Yeah, we have an annual celebration each year, and we recognize business members and businesses for what we've seen happen throughout the year. We have a great dinner. The last couple of years, we've kind of put a theme to it, so just to add a little fun to what's going on in the evening. Again, another evening for raffles and, just for people to connect. You know, that's a really big deal in the community.
Sure
and it's a great event. Usually we hold it at the Legend of Bergamot. So.
Right, and you don't have to be a business owner in the community to get involved in the chamber.
No, you don't.
And can you talk about that kind of avenue for people
Yeah.
that may be like, hey, I'm motivated by this. I want to make sure we keep this organization going and going strong. What other ways can they help out?
Sure. We'd be more than happy to have community members on planning committees and even some day-to-day operations in the office. You know, we run a very slim personnel. We have one part-time individual helping us connect all the pieces, which is much smaller than it used to be. We used to have an office anywhere from 2 to 5, 6, 7 people, depending on where we're at in the business atmosphere. And so now we run very slim. So volunteers, I can think of the signboards on either end of town. You know, we could definitely use some help coordinating all that.
As long as you have good spelling skills. Correct?
That's right.
That'd be one of the prerequisites. Make sure that you could spell correctly. Right?
But I mean, just reaching out to our marketing and membership director, or Natasha, she could certainly help. Use any help. And as we kind of go along, and we have more community members kind of raising their hand and saying, "Hey, I'd like to participate in helping," we will definitely find a role.
Right, and even in your board structure, you have room for community members to be on the board. Is that correct?
You have to be on the board. The business that you're representing has to be a member. But I'm a community member in the business. I don't own the business that I am part of. So it's definitely a possibility.
Now, am I missing any other events that the Chamber puts on in Oregon that I'm not aware of?
There's quite a few different events that the Chamber partners with the local business community. This will be. I'll take it back to the fire district. Basically, this is going to be our 10th year of our tree lighting downtown, and then the Chamber is tying some stuff together with Cocoa Walk, and some shop downtown. Businesses during the holiday season and that kind of stuff. So we've got those kind of events going on, and that kind of stuff. But it's all about bringing the business community together, and a reason for people to come and shop in Oregon and be part of it, part of the Chamber, and that's basically why they talked me into getting in the Chamber. Probably 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
So maybe longer. It seems like it's quite a long time. But
Sure it has.
it's been very rewarding and all the above to see our businesses and our greater Oregon success.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think you guys play a vital role in the community. I know, I'm sure the local businesses really help and appreciate your advocacy of them. And I think, it's a reminder to us as members of this community who love and support this community that we do need to be active in supporting those businesses and making our dollars count where they can in our own hometown, and to make sure that Oregon remains a really vibrant community for us all to take part of. And I know you guys are a big part of that, not only through the Chamber, but Glenn, as you're saving people and saving lives on a daily basis too, is really, really important. So we really appreciate you coming on to the show today and kind of talking about this hard topic, and hopefully that this gives people out there some more information and can help them kind of think about our community in a new way and other ways that they might want to get involved. So we appreciate you coming to the show today.
Excellent. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Appreciate it.
So that's all the time we have on this episode of Let's Talk Oregon. We will see you next month. Bye-bye.